What does financial independence mean for you? In a nutshell, it is a declaration of economic autonomy. Declaring that money is the most important thing in the world might seem shocking and even heretical, considering the common adage that money can't buy happiness. However, the alternative perspective presented is that while money can't guarantee pure bliss, poverty is likely to lead to misery. Far from being the source of all evil, money is portrayed as a crucial tool for enhancing our quality of life. The narrative emphasizes that having more money is beneficial for various aspects of life. Whether it's looking out for loved ones, spending quality time with family, or indulging in leisure activities such as reading, attending the theater, and exploring different cultures through travel, the common denominator is money. This perspective is rooted in the philosophy of Christy Shen, a self-made millionaire who achieved early retirement at the age of 31. The upcoming insights will delve into her unconventional perspectives, unique strategies, and innovative concepts. More importantly, readers can anticipate discovering a guide to achieving wealth, eliminating debt, and attaining financial independence. Are you ready to embark on this journey? Throughout the exploration, you'll gain insights into the nuanced reality that property may not always be the lucrative investment it's made out to be, strategies for saving towards early retirement and optimizing the use of your financial resources, the importance of clearing debts before focusing on wealth accumulation. Making decisions based on rational calculations rather than emotions is more likely to lead to sound choices. In 2005, Steve Jobs, during a commencement speech at Stanford University, advised students to follow your heart, a sentiment that gained widespread acceptance. However, this perspective is challenged, suggesting that following one's passions might not always be the right choice. For instance, the critical decision of choosing a college major can significantly impact one's life. The author, Christy, faced this decision in 2000, contemplating majors in creative writing, accounting, and computer engineering. While her heart leaned towards writing, a rational assessment based on math suggested engineering was the better choice. Analyzing the math involved comparing the potential earnings of each major. A writing degree, on average, offered a marginal income of $2,752, considering the low earning potential for many writers. In contrast, an accounting degree provided an additional $24,000 over the minimum wage, and computer engineering yielded an impressive $40,000 more annually. The argument challenges the notion that one cannot put a price on happiness or pursue dreams regardless of financial considerations. It emphasizes the practical aspect that financial stability provides a foundation for pursuing one's true passions. Christie's own journey illustrates this point. Her engineering job afforded her financial security, allowing her to later transition to a career as a professional writer. In the upcoming sections, we will explore how Christie navigated this journey. Christie's Chinese heritage instilled in her the belief that debt is a trap to be avoided at all costs. Chinese citizens, on average, save 38% of their income, a stark contrast to the 3.9% saved by Americans and 2.8% by the Japanese. The roots of this saving culture in China can be traced back to a history of corruption and the absence of formal credit channels. In Chinese culture, the historical perspective on debt is significant. Debt is not viewed merely as an "I owe you," but rather as an "I own you." This cultural aversion to debt has been ingrained in individuals, like Christie, who are programmed to steer clear of debt. Surprisingly, this attitude towards debt aligns well with a universally applicable financial principle known as the Rule of 72, attributed to the 15th-century Italian mathematician Luca Pacioli. The rule provides a simple way to estimate how long it takes for an investment to double based on its return rate. For example, if the return rate is 6%, it would take 12 years for a $1,000 investment to compound into $2,000. The Rule of 72 becomes unfavorable for debtors. For instance, with a typical credit interest rate of 20%, the debt would double in approximately 3.6 years and nearly quadruple in 7 years. Understanding this, the Chinese tradition of paying off personal debts during the new year takes on a practical significance. The intention is not to instill fear but to emphasize the importance of managing and eliminating personal debts. In the next section, we will explore strategies for debt elimination. Consumer debt is akin to a blood-sucking vampire, draining your financial resources and keeping you trapped in a cycle of endless work and repayment. To achieve financial independence, it's crucial to address and eliminate this debt. Consumer debt, often burdened with high interest rates, demands immediate attention. The first step involves a drastic reduction in expenses. Given the compounding effect illustrated by the Rule of 72, where debts grow rapidly, attempting to save or invest while carrying high-interest debt is futile. Cutting expenses, possibly through additional income sources like a side hustle or renting out a spare room, becomes essential. Prioritizing debt repayment is the next critical move. Arrange your loans in descending order of interest rates, tackling the highest interest debt first. This strategy focuses on neutralizing the most significant financial threat, akin to targeting the most voracious vampire in a group. While paying the minimum on all cards to avoid default, allocate any surplus funds to eliminate the debt with the highest interest rate. The final step involves exploring loan refinancing options. Some credit card companies offer balance transfers with 0% interest for a limited period, typically around a year. Utilizing these grace periods can be beneficial if there's a clear plan to pay off the loan entirely within that time frame. However, caution is advised, as failure to do so may result in increased interest rates. Attempting to achieve financial independence while burdened by debt is compared to running a marathon with a backpack full of bricks. It depletes strength prematurely. To grow assets and attain freedom, it's imperative to eliminate the financial vampire that is consumer debt. Spend your cash on experiences rather than material possessions if you want to buy happiness. The connection between cocaine and shopping lies in the brain's response to pleasure. Dopamine, the pleasure chemical, surges through the mesolimbic pathway to the nucleus accumbens when something good happens. This includes both substance use, like cocaine, and indulging in luxury shopping, both triggering a significant neural high. The nucleus accumbens not only reacts to current positive stimuli but also responds to the anticipation of these stimuli. Pleasure is not solely about absolute dopamine levels but is influenced by the brain's expectations. Unfortunately, individuals addicted to substances or shopping find themselves in a cycle of needing increasing amounts or more expensive items to chase the initial high. Contrary to a common moral perspective that money can't buy happiness, the reality is that it can, depending on what you spend it on. Not all types of spending have the same impact on happiness. Christie observed a pattern among her blog readers. Those with more material possessions tended to be less happy, while those who invested their money in experiences were content. Material possessions provide an initial dopamine boost that diminishes as the brain adapts to it. In contrast, the pleasure derived from acquiring new skills or traveling doesn't fade as quickly. Learning to play the piano or revisiting holiday photos can continually evoke positive feelings, offering a more sustained source of happiness compared to material possessions. Purchasing property may not be the foolproof investment it is often believed to be. While many people are cautious about borrowing money, they commonly make an exception for a mortgage. The prevailing wisdom suggests that buying a house is not only a rite of passage into adulthood but also a wise investment for the future, as the property can be sold at a profit. However, the reality is that property ownership comes with hidden costs that can significantly impact the expected returns. Consider a scenario where a family, let's call them the Smiths, buys a house for $500,000, intending to stay for an average of 9 years. Assuming a steady 6% annual increase in property prices, the expected profit would be $344,739. However, this doesn't account for various costs associated with property ownership. Additional expenses include a $1,000 title search, $150 title recording fee, and $1,000 for legal processing. Insurance costs, property taxes, and maintenance expenses over the 9-year period amount to $22,500, $45,000, and $45,000, respectively. When the Smiths decide to sell, a 6% commission on the final sale price and a 1.2% land transfer tax result in $50,684 and $10,137 in costs, respectively. Adding another $1,000 for legal fees, the total additional expenses come to $175,571, which accounts for 51% of the expected profit. However, the impact of interest on the mortgage has not been considered. Assuming a 10% down payment and borrowing the rest from the bank, the Smiths have paid $162,033 in interest over 9 years, which constitutes a significant 98% of the sale price. It's important to note that these calculations were based on an assumed annual property value increase of 6%, well above the actual inflation rate of about 2% in the U.S. In reality, the Smiths would likely end up losing money on their property investment.
I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for your return, likes, shares, comments, and subscriptions to the channel. Your active involvement is not only fostering the growth of the channel but also sending a powerful message to knowledge and wisdom seekers around the globe, becoming a true ambassador for our community. Now, let's seamlessly transition back to the review and continue this collective journey of enlightenment and sharing of wisdom.
The rule of 150 feet can guide your decision on whether to buy a house or allocate your money elsewhere. While realtors might simplify the decision by suggesting that buying is better when the monthly mortgage payment equals rent on a similar property, a closer examination reveals the complexity of the comparison. The rule of 150 serves as a tool to help you assess the true cost of owning a home compared to potential savings from not renting. In the initial 9 years of a standard 30-year mortgage, approximately 50% of payments go towards the loan principal, with the remaining 50% covering interest. Additional ownership costs, such as maintenance and insurance, are roughly equivalent to the interest on the mortgage during this period. To calculate the actual monthly cost, you multiply your monthly mortgage payment by 150%. For example, if your monthly mortgage bill is $1,500, your true cost, considering all expenses, would be $2,250 per month. If this rule of 150 monthly cost exceeds your rent, sticking with renting may be a more sensible choice. If it's lower, buying could be a viable option. Christie, faced with Toronto's soaring housing prices, applied the rule of 150 and realized that buying her own home in Canada's most expensive city was financially impractical. This realization led her to consider alternative uses for her savings, a decision explored in the upcoming Blink. Index investing, as opposed to betting on individual companies, offers a less risky and more cost-effective approach to wealth accumulation. While wealthy individuals focus on investments, many mistakenly engage in riskier endeavors, like trying to pick individual winning stocks. There are two primary approaches to investing. The first involves spending significant resources on research and algorithms to choose specific companies, while the second, index investing, is a simpler and less risky alternative. Index investing can be likened to betting on the casino rather than individual horses in a race. Instead of selecting specific companies, investors place their money on an index, a list of companies ranked by market capitalization. This strategy mitigates risk because it diversifies investments across multiple high-performing companies. The failure of a single company won't lead to significant losses unless every company on the index simultaneously faces bankruptcy. Indexes function as intuitive barometers for the stock market. When a company's value increases, the index automatically acquires more shares, and vice versa. This dynamic, seen in major indexes like the S&P 500, ensures a continual adjustment of holdings based on companies' market performance. In addition to its risk-reducing benefits, index investing is cost-effective. The simplicity of the approach eliminates the need for a hands-on fund manager, leading to lower fees. For example, a typical index fund in the U.S. charges fees of just 0.04%, a fraction of the cost associated with actively managed funds. This affordability, coupled with zero sales commissions, makes index investing an attractive option for individuals seeking a secure and economical investment strategy. Contrary to common belief, early retirement isn't contingent on earning a high income. Rather, it hinges on one's ability to save diligently. While many people dismiss the idea of retiring early when they assess their financial situation, the key factor determining early retirement is the savings rate, not the annual income. Even with a modest income, individuals can achieve early retirement by focusing on prudent financial habits. The conventional retirement age is often set at 65, assuming individuals save between 5 and 10% of their salaries and maintain investment portfolios with an average annual yield of 6 to 7%. By adjusting the savings rate, individuals can significantly impact their retirement timeline. Increasing the savings rate not only reduces living expenses but also accelerates the growth of the retirement portfolio. Consider a hypothetical couple, Paul and Gillian, with an annual income of $62,175, the median family income in the U.S. After accounting for taxes, their disposable income is $52,724.40. By adopting a frugal lifestyle, such as renting an affordable apartment, cooking at home, and utilizing cost-effective transportation options, they manage to keep their annual expenses at $40,000. This allows them to invest $12,724.40 annually into their portfolio. Assuming a conservative 6% interest rate, Paul and Gillian could accumulate $1 million in 30 years. Even without significant income increases, they could potentially retire at 54, enjoying early retirement that is 11 years ahead of the conventional schedule. This example underscores the transformative impact of a higher savings rate on achieving financial independence and retiring early. Determining the feasibility of early retirement involves understanding the relationship between your annual living expenses and the size of your target portfolio. A landmark study in 1998 established that a portfolio is self-sustaining when annual living expenses are no greater than 4% of its total value, defining this as a safe withdrawal rate. This insight allows for a straightforward calculation of the target portfolio size by multiplying annual expenses by 25. For instance, if your annual expenses amount to $40,000, your target portfolio would be $1 million. However, there are alternative strategies to achieve financial independence without amassing a large portfolio. Partial financial independence, achievable with a smaller portfolio, involves working part-time and earning supplemental income. For example, if you need $40,000 annually and earn $28,000 after tax through part-time work, your new target portfolio would be $300,000, calculated by multiplying the annual shortfall of $12,000 by 25. Geographic arbitrage is another strategy where you earn income in a country with a strong currency and retire in a country with a weaker currency. By capitalizing on the cost of living differences between countries, you can reduce the size of your target portfolio. For instance, if you discover a location where living a comfortable life costs $1,130 per month, your new target portfolio would be $339,000, calculated as $13,560 monthly expenses, multiplied by 25. These strategies provide flexibility and options for pursuing financial independence, and they prompt a crucial question: what holds more significance, accumulating material possessions or attaining personal freedom? Honest consideration of this question can guide your financial decisions on the path to financial independence. The key principle emphasized in these insights is the importance of following mathematical logic in financial decision-making. This involves making choices based on a rational assessment of costs, benefits, and long-term implications rather than relying on emotional or societal influences. Practical advice includes challenging conventional wisdom, such as the belief in the universal benefits of homeownership, and considering alternative strategies like index investing to achieve financial independence. One actionable tip is to confront consumerism by making invisible waste visible. This can be applied to various aspects of life, such as the wardrobe. By physically organizing clothes based on usage frequency, individuals can gain insights into their consumption patterns and identify areas for minimizing waste. This practical approach aligns with the overall theme of leveraging data and rational analysis to guide financial decisions. In summary, these insights encourage individuals to approach financial choices with a critical mindset, leveraging mathematical principles to optimize their financial well-being and work towards the goal of early retirement. Welcome back, and a heartfelt thank you for rejoining our knowledge-rich community. Within these digital walls, you'll discover a treasury of engaging book summaries crafted to equip you with insightful reflections and motivational narratives, encouraging profound actions. As we strive to broaden our impact and share the joy of learning, we extend an invitation for your support, simply by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Your support isn't just valued, it serves as the bedrock of our mission. In return, we commit to consistently furnish you with top-tier book summaries promptly. Let's persist in this collective journey toward growth and enlightenment. Here's to delightful reading, perpetual learning, and continuous personal development.